Hey there, Fletcher from All Things Overlanding here, and today I'm going to be talking about a cool new 200-watt solar briefcase that is completely portable and has some really cool options for attaching it to various different types of batteries, especially if you're running a dual battery setup like I am. So I'm going to walk you through all the features of this thing. I'm going to try and show it in action. It's a little cloudy today, but I'm going to do my best. And I'm going to kind of walk you through this thing and hopefully answer any questions you've got about it and show you something that's useful if you're looking for a good, portable, not permanently mounted solar charging option for your battery banks or your dual battery setup. So if you want to learn more about the ACOPOWER 200-watt portable solar briefcase, stay tuned.
Understand where it came from, but you got it, my got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip.
All right, guys, so let's start first by opening this thing up. I kind of want to show you everything that comes in it. So first and foremost, it comes with this really nice custom-made bag. As you can see, it's got the brand name on the front. On the back here, though, really cool, it has this large zipper pocket. So if you had extra cords, let's say like proprietary type cords for your power bank or something like that, this gives you a good place to put that. And I like that they included that. That's just a thoughtful, nice thing that makes this bag more useful than just something to cover up the solar panels. Another slick thing that they did was that they actually left a cutout here for the handles, which are part of the solar panel. So you don't need the bag to carry it, which a lot of these things, if they come in a bag, it's integrated into the solar panel. So you kind of have to mess with it. With this, if you wanted to leave it off, you could just leave it off. If you want it for cover, say that you're putting it in the back of your truck, then you've got that. But you just unzip this at both sides, and then this thing's going to come out of the bag. So as far as weight goes, I'm going to throw that up on the screen here because I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head, but I'm a 6'2" guy, so you can kind of see this thing in relation to my body. It's not super heavy. It's definitely totally carryable from, your truck to wherever you're going to be going to camp. And with this handle, it's really handy. It's really easy to carry. It's comfortable. It doesn't hurt your hand or anything like that. So really easy to kind of move this thing around as you need to get it set up wherever you need to capture solar power at camp and get it into your vehicle. So another thing to show you is just how easy it is to set this thing up. There are no clasps or latches or anything like that on the top. It's actually just held together by the handle as you're sort of holding it. So to open it up, you literally just sort of stand it up, fold it apart, and you're good to go. You could lean this on something. You could also probably use the handle and maybe like a bungee cord to hang it from, say, your rooftop tent or a bed rack, things like that if you need to get it up somewhere. But in most cases, I would either lay this out on the ground or sort of stand it up like this in sort of a V. And then that way you just put it in the best position that you need it to go to capture solar. All right, so let's take a little bit closer look in here. Again, what I like is that all of this stuff, the controllers and all the wiring is already done. So you don't have to mess with anything except, plugging this in, which they make it really easy to tell which one's positive, which one's negative, red positive, black negative. They've got labels on them too. So, and they're MC4, so they can only be plugged in one way. So if you have these type of connectors, which I'll show you on my truck, I've actually got my solar cables from my roof-mounted ones coming into here and then going straight into my Red Arc control system. So another thing to mention here is that I love that they have this built-in solar charge controller. So with a lot of these, they aren't actually that smart. It's just a solar panel, and then when you plug it into, say, a power bank, the solar panel manufacturer is counting on that power bank to be smart enough to regulate that input of power. Now, in the case of this one, again, you have a built-in solar charge controller. It is a 20 amp controller, so just FYI, you can run up to 20 amps through it. But the nice thing about that is it will protect you from overload, it'll protect you from short circuiting, it'll protect you from reverse current, it'll protect you from over temperatures. You can see it's got a temp sensor there. So it allows you to monitor the charging status of your battery easily externally to your battery. So again, even if you just had a LiFePO4 battery, let's say 100 amp hour or a 200 amp hour sitting in the back of your truck in a waterproof box, you could literally just run these MC4 cables to the end, or you could connect again via the alligator clip straight to that battery, throw this out in the sun, and then the charge controller is going to take care of everything to ensure that your battery gets charged up right, your battery is protected, and it does everything for you. So you don't have to spend extra money buying a charge controller to then plug your solar panel into. So one thing to point out, just for clarity's sake, is that these MC4s that come out of this box here, which you can see each of these boxes on the two 100-watt solar panels are connected. So this is the actual output from the solar. If you want to run it through the controller, then you need to connect the MC4s that come out of the thing marked solar here into those for the solar panel. Now, the reason they do this is because if you had something else that you wanted to hook up with its own controller, or you wanted to basically bypass using the controller to hook this up straight to something else, then you could hook up MC4s straight to the solar panel. But again, in my case, since I'm going to be using the controller, I'm going to hook these up into the solar input MC4s here, which will actually make the solar panel connected to the controller. So some other cool things about these solar panels specifically is that they are IP68 waterproof. So, you know, right now, again, it's kind of sprinkling, it's raining, my glasses have some water droplets on them. You can use this out in the rain. You don't have to worry about it getting ruined if it is out in the weather. So that's really nice that they do that. It's also got some technology built into it to make it anti-shade. So you may have heard about some solar panels in the past that if you get like some of the cells covered up by shade. So let's say you're parked here and there's a tree over there and part of your panel gets covered by shade, it will actually stop the solar panel from working because it basically works as a circuit through that whole solar panel. This has technology built into it, and the type of solar panels that it's made of will actually allow you to work around that. So even if it's partially shaded, it's still going to capture sunlight, it's still going to capture that solar power, and it's still going to push it through to your battery. So here's another thing that I wanted to point out that's really cool in the design of this. So you can see that it's got this hinge up here at the top. And then on the back, it's actually got a piece of Velcro in there, and that will hold the charge controller inside of it. So for when you're storing it or carrying it, you want it inside just so it's protected and everything. But then let's say that you're going to lay this out on the ground. Because of that hinge, you just undo that Velcro, and then this thing will actually flip up, and you can lay this on the ground and still see your charge controller, you know, change your type of battery and all that stuff. So it has a pretty cool feature built into it there. Just to make this thing as user-friendly as possible and to give you as much information on what's happening with the battery, even while it's laid out on the ground collecting solar power. All right, so to start off with the controller here, you know, just for demonstration purposes, I went ahead and hooked it up to my old truck's battery just so that I can kind of show you this thing in action. You know, once it's hooked up, it's going to show you the state of your battery. So my battery's in good shape, which is great to know. That is one of the nice benefits of something like this is, let's say you're going to be out at camp staying in the same place for like 2, 3, 4 days maybe. One of my biggest fears is always that I'm going to wake up and have a dead battery. But with something like this that you can throw out on the ground and hook up to your starter battery, then you don't have to worry about it being dead, and you can also monitor it and see how it's doing at any given time, which normally you can't really see without turning the vehicle on, and even then it's still not 100% helpful. Now, to change the battery type, which is really important, when you first hook this up to your vehicle, you want to hold this for a few seconds and you're going to see that it's going to start flashing. You've got a bunch of different options here, like LiFePO4, lithium ion. You've got all these different options, right? But the main ones are going to be AGM. So a lot of us have AGM starter batteries. I just have a traditional wet battery. So just the wet is just your standard flooded battery, like most starter batteries. So I'm going to set it to wet. That's going to tell me what my battery voltage is at right now. And it tells me that my battery is totally full. Now, if this thing were to deplete some, if I were to use some of the power out of this, then it's going to show that it's charging. You've got, you know, your cords marked down here, so you could repurpose this thing. I mean, I don't plan to do that, but if you ever wanted to reuse this controller, these controllers are pretty universal. You could hook this up to a battery directly and to solar. You could take it off of this briefcase if you wanted to. That's all built right in there, and it's just going to kind of show you what all is happening with your battery. Now, again, right now I'm totally charged up. It's also pretty cloudy and yucky outside, so I'm probably not collecting a whole bunch, and I don't really need to because I've already got a full battery. But it's just nice that this will show you everything and it will handle all the controlling for you, so you can literally just hook this up to your vehicle's starter battery and just let it run, and it will keep you topped off. All right, guys, so that will do it for the ACOPOWER 200-watt solar briefcase. This thing is a powerhouse with a ton of really nice built-in features, some really nice options for attaching it. So if you are like me especially, and you have a dual battery setup and you want to run a ton of solar juice into it when you're at camp, you don't have to worry about partial shading and things like that. This thing is a great option. Now, I will put a link in the description down below to this thing, so if you want to pick one up for yourself, check that out just to make it as easy as possible. And if you've got any questions, post up in the comments down below. As always, there will be links to all my other social channels down there, so if you want to follow along on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, wherever, come and join the conversation over there. There will also be a link to my website where I've got funny overlanding camping themed patches and stickers. So if you're into putting stuff on your fridge or sticking stuff on your headliner, there will definitely be some options there, as well as all things overlanding merch, so check that out. Also below this video is a join button. That's just kind of a passive way to support the channel, get you early access to all the videos and the podcasts that I do. If you want to be more involved with all things overlanding, there's also a link to my Patreon group down there where we have a 24/7 Discord. We do a once-a-month Zoom call, and we do a couple of trips per year in person to meet up. So if that sounds good, check that out. And then last but not least, there is a link to the Newbie Overlanders Facebook group. This is a totally free group to join. 20,000 members at the time I'm recording this, and it's just a ton of fun. If you're tired of the bullying in the big groups, you want to come and actually ask questions and learn about overlanding, that may be a good place to do it, and we'd love to have you. But again, thanks so much for watching. Hope that was helpful, and we'll see you next time.